Hey, what's poppin' YouTube? Been a minute since I've made a stream. Hope everyone's well. If anyone or anyone ever watches these, uh, I just wanted to give an update here on SPY, um, which we got three bearish days in a row. Now back under this. Oh, this trend line's a little off. Under this daily chart trend line, which we tried to break out here a few times. Here, one, two, three. Denied. Closed at the lows. Tried to get back up. Looked like a bullish engulfing candle here. Fell back into range under the fast EMA, and now we have the whatever second sub EMA, what have you. This is like the 21, and this is like the 8 or 9 or 10. I can't remember. So usually they buy the moving averages. As you can see, they kind of bought the purple one all the way up. So that could be our next as support. But I believe that finally the market will pay attention to the risk that's out there. You can see the past 3 days have been red with pretty decent volume relative to the prior days, which has been really not too. I mean, the volume's been this kind of threw off the volume average, I guess, this yellow line. But again, you could see a lot more volume coming in, higher red bars right here on the red days relative to the green days. So that could be people, selling, liquidating longs to whoever's buying, dumb money, I guess you could say. We have a lot of virgin point of controls below as well. This is where market has a memory of unfinished business. Essentially, these are places on every day of trade based off this day where the market, had the most volume traded and then got away from it and never came back to tag it. Here, of course, we gapped, so it'll happen. Here, we gapped, so it'll happen. So these gaps and these should be tagged. And ultimately, I have a target of like 550 right here is my target on this market to at least be tagged here in the coming couple days to weeks. And then I think July will maybe find a bottom either here or lower and then rally. If not, that'll be really bad news for stocks, which that would be based off some sort of macro geopolitical drama out there. Anyways, so these are kind of like the more naked charts where you just look at the candles, which we're making lower highs all the way down. There's some other things I look at I'll get into, but I want to just focus on SPY. You could see the MACD was basically kissing right here. Oh, shoot. Oh, damn it. Whatever, I'll keep that kind of right there. Right here, crisscrossing, kind of doing nothing, but now they kind of separated. Which when they separate, as you could see, when they separated here, it started just like this, in and out, dicking around, and then you just get the separation, plus the John Carter baby classic. This got a light blue again. So we had the light blue. They're like, let's get bullish again, momentum. Now denied. So that's what I'm watching too. Which right now I'm net short. I plan to press my shorts. This is like the McClellan, whatever, the MCO, some oscillator, and a 10 moving average. But anytime this gets under this, bad things happen. Again, here's the correction. You had the correction back here in February where this got under that after crisscrossing, and now it's separating the white line. So could this be the start of that? I don't know. We'll see. This line is like a Wilder's line, essentially just another crutch or something to tell to support whatever your other views or negate your view. This has not turned red yet, so I think it will be though this week. And then lastly, we have divergences, essentially where we had it here, where price makes a new high right here. From this high to this high is higher, this high slightly, where this went lower. And then what happened? We corrected. And now that's happening again, where price made a high here and a new high here. And now we have the RSI, the momentum, what have you, index, whatever, is making a high and a lower high. So a divergence, usually that leads to more downward price action. Again, who knows? The market is very dynamic. You never know. And then what was the other one I wanted to show? I think that was my main ones I wanted to show. Yeah, and then let me see this new one. This is just some Elliott wave stuff, which some people think is whatever witchcraft or what have you. But if this plays out, we have a nice projection of 480 being tested, so the low. So my target again is 550 area SPY, which is right around this round number up in here. We'll just call. Oh yeah, I marked it. Meant to change the color. My bad. So this is what I think will be tagged as oh, it didn't save as whatever the main target right there. We'll see if that gets tagged. 550 area is what I'm shooting for. And again, this has its projection lower or even going down to way low. Which where's the COVID high? The pre-COVID high March 2020 is 312, and then we got down to basically 200, which I don't think we'll see that. But again, this zoomed out has us going all the way to a monthly VPOC, which I have tagged here, meaning this is a price where it has a memory. So this could be where we end up heading if we get enough selling down to 400, which would be epic, but don't count it out. You know how quick this happened. This move happened quick, and then this, look at this, 2 days. Those are massive moves. Obviously, they came back. This was a massive up move, but the market scared, and the TWAPs or whatever, algos get going, they'll sell the shit out of the market quickly, which selfishly I'm hoping that happens. But other things are, this is like called like a tight rising wedge, and usually when the market breaks this, it'll retrace the move pretty much 100%. So that would take us lower than 550, but again, this is a conservative target. Aggressive to me would be previous lows, basically 480. 480 would be a nice target, or 500 at least, round number from 550 as an aggressive, or whatever, vice versa. I don't know how you're gonna look at it. This is a nice one that should get tagged, get your shorts covered, and then keep some runners on for this 480. Essentially, would be the plan at that point. So anyways, that's the SPY. But I wanted to show. I wanted to see if I had any divergences I could show to see if any of these updated. No, so that's not having a divergence yet because they're both going higher. This is semiconductors. I know transports were. I shared this before. Where transports, again, this is the Dow transports, transportation, blah, blah, blah. High, new high, high, lower high. This went down. Look what happened when the market went down. That's also happened again here. High, high, not really, high, not really a new high. Very close, but again, divergence. So usually when transports rolls over, equity will roll over. Let's look at this vol context here. Oh, my bad. Alrighty. Oh, shoot. Here we go. So we got the VIX is still above, so we don't have too much fear out there, and the VIX is kind of holding up well. And we don't have any extreme here on this, so nothing to read into there. The new highs versus new lows, these are more for reversals. Let's see what small caps are doing. The rut versus the rest. This is kind of going higher. Very similar price action, so no divergences there. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have for that. Let me see if I had something else. No, and that was it. But yeah, just to back that up with hold on, sorry. Here we go. Just to back that up with SPY here. The another thing that you could pay attention to is the let me see if it pulls it up here. All right, no, yeah, there's nothing I want to show. But yeah, so there's SPY. I guess I could cover let me look at NVDA. Again, broke out, but not a new high. But I think this is going to also roll over. When the equity markets roll over, you got a nice big volume candle here on that day. Let me go look at the other ones. Palantir, I'm actually short this with puts. I think this is going to go down finally and take a breather, possibly to the 80 handle. Makes sense. Maybe 100. So I like this short. Tesla, I'm also short. But again, I'll liquidate this above 330, 340. I'll say, fuck it, I'm wrong. But I like Tesla lower here. Apple's been the weak one. You know, it's building a base here, which is nice. You know, but again, I think if equities roll over, maybe this will roll over. But sometimes this goes up when the markets go down, kind of like a Costco consumer staples play, what have you. Facebook, I'm also short. I'm in Met D, building a position on that. And that is, why do I have another way the fuck up there? And I'm planning on this to pop right off this whatever double bottom. It's not really technical. It's just the inverse of Facebook Meta. And again, this rising wedge, usually this pattern will retrace 100%. So, like I said, I have a lot of correlated short delta on right now, but I believe it should pay off. If not, I'll peel some back as needed and then reapply it like sunscreen, or possibly reverse long, but I don't see that happening until I said the 550's tagged on the SPY, and then we'll get higher. Amazon, lower highs here, lower the high from this high here. Again, it had some strength, not really in this. Google, I'm short this, and this is finally working out. And I plan to add more. If it gets under this line, I believe it's going to go to 130, 120, and that's when I will be pressing the position as well. On Google, Microsoft has been like a darling. This bastard gapped up on earnings, as you could see, and just ran. But I think this is finally exhausted, but obviously it's strong. Look, it made a new high relative to the others, but at least a breather back into here, or even fill this gap, is ahead for this one. AMD had some strength too off some shit, but again, I think they have maybe some chips that could be as good as NVDA, what have you. But right at this trend line, you can see it's stalling, and I'm not short this, but this might be another one I short as well as this corrects back down, possibly to the 100 handle or even to the 80 handle. Broadcom, the new Mag 8. This is going to be the Mag 8. I believe this is going to be headed lower. As I talked about earlier in the video, how price bounces off those tails. You see how it bounced off that tail there? So again, you know, that's like a bullish type thing for like a short-term day trade, swing trade. But if you dissect this, this is kind of like a bear flag type deal. You know, it could go either way, but I believe this is going to go down when the SPY and QQQ go down. Super micro, I'm going to short this under this 40 probably to a move back down to 30 area. Nice $10 capture. We'll see. And most of these will be using long puts, either 20 delta, maybe 30 delta, or 40, maybe 50 at times, depending on the open interest and cost. I'm cheap. MSTR, this is hanging on by a thread. No bueno for a sailor. But this is making lower highs as well. And technically, if you put this little Fibonacci, which I use in my trading, this thing's headed to 330 to 300 again. If that fails, it's 230. If that fails, 160 on MSTR. Which that means if this is going down, Bitcoin's going to be shitting the bed. And why not talk about it real quick before I wrap this up? Bitcoin here, basically, I have a target of 90. I said 95K. Again, conservatively, aggressively 90K. And then my very aggressive target is definitely touching 80K. And then buying should come in. If not, we're going to 70K, 60K, and under there, holy shit, that won't be good. for hodlers or whatever. They'll just leave gains on the table that they come back and buy. But anyways, that's that. Any questions? Holla. Peace.